Welcome back. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show. Quick reminder, 1 p.m. today, please do stay tuned to Afia TV for a discussion on the build-up to the election. And of course, at 8 a.m., all-day coverage on Saturday as we monitor the election right here at Afia TV. Now our discussion segment continues as Anambra State prepares for the November 8th governorship election. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared its readiness to conduct a free, fair, and credible poll. Now, political party representatives and governorship candidates have also signed a peace accord committing to a peaceful electoral process. But beyond the institutions and political actors, how prepared are the voters themselves? How ready are the electorate to participate actively and responsibly in this crucial democratic exercise? Now, joining us to discuss this is media executive Uche P. Okoye. Uche Okoye, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Nathaniel, and the people in the studio. Good morning, everybody.
Well, it's actually your friend, Nnamdi, here with me.
Oh, Nnamdi, hello.
Good morning.
All right, and of course, Uche joins us from Oka, the Anambra State capital, today. So, Uche, you are not just a media executive, you are also a voter. And we suspect you'll be casting your votes at the November 8th election. How prepared are you to cast your votes?
Absolutely. I'm not just a media person. I'm also a voter, not just a voter, but an active member of, youth organizations. I'm also a very active citizen of Anambra State. So I am very, very enthusiastic. I'm very, very excited. I am looking forward to the day and hoping that the election will come free, fair, and credible.
Now, as the election gets nearer, we always see things that happen in the states. We start seeing undercurrents of things. With regards to, security in the states, is there any notable difference? Are there increased security personnel? Is there heightened insecurity? Or does it feel very normal going into the election?
All right, just a split second before you respond. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll gain your answer to that. Uche, please do stay tuned. All right, Uche, please go ahead with your response.
All right. The atmosphere has been quite normal. We haven't really seen that much bombardment. Interestingly, the Anambra State election this year has been quite boring. There hasn't been really much activities. Most of the things I can tell you has happened at the campaign grounds. Most of the things are either the jabs thrown by opposition or the jabs thrown by the ruling party. This has been the things that I can tell you that has been happening, somehow hitting up the polls. But in terms of security and the environment, it has been relatively calm, quiet. There hasn't been any recorded violence. There hasn't been any recorded attacks. We have seen multiple policemen and women, positioning in the strategic places and getting ready for the day. We have also seen, of course, INEC officials are being recruited. We are hoping to see that this time around is going to be the ad hoc INEC officials that are being recruited. So I'm hoping that this time around we are going to have not just credible, but a very peaceful election. Anambra State has always been very peaceful. We haven't really been in the news for the wrong reasons in the past couple of weeks now. So I'm hoping that we maintain that decorum as we enter into the election proper.
Now, in the last few weeks, like before every election, we have in Nigeria, there is this registration drive where they tell people, go get your PVCs. If you need to move your polling unit, if you need to re-register, if you need to register. How has the response been in Anambra? I know that you are always active in terms of, voter sensitization, community activism, and, information dissemination. So what has the response been like in Anambra, towards the drive? Do you expect any sort of large turnouts for this election based on response to getting their PVCs?
I think, to be honest, Anambra people are yet to be very much active in the local election. If you recall, the last election that brought in Soludo, it recorded one of the lowest elections we ever recorded in the history of Anambra State election. It has always been like that. During Peter Obi, we had very poor turnout as well. During Obiano, we used to have very poor turnout. So I can tell you that I'm not really quite impressed with what I've been seeing. People from different parts of the states responding to the electoral timetable, or responding to whatever things that will be needed to be responded to, in order to drive the awareness. It hasn't really been very much optimistic compared to what we recorded during the presidential election. There has been quite a lot of voter people expressing voter apathy because of the insecurity, because of the poor governance and the hardship of the economy. So I would say that it has been really quite boring. Like I said in the beginning, the election has been quite boring. And I hope that the people will really come out this time around, at least more than what happened the last time we had election in Anambra State. So that's what I can say for now. But going forward, hopefully, we will see more people. But if you go around Anambra State, you will see clusters of people campaigning, having meetings around elections. But really, the atmosphere is not really what it should be. If you compare that to what we had during the presidential election, you see that it has been quite boring.
All right, so we have, of course, the majority party candidates and the minority party candidates, and two minority party candidates seem to stick out. The AA candidate, Action Alliance, and of course the AAC. One that says, rise with the nigger. And I like every time I have the chance to say that. It makes them laugh so much. Rise with the nigger. And of course the AAC candidate, who happens to be one of the two female candidates on the ballot. And she appears to be rising faster as a result of people's perception of her manifesto, which they say is quite in-depth. What are your thoughts on the chances of the two major minority candidates, the AA and of course the AAC, and the candidates of the majority parties, including the APC, LP, and PDP, all gunning to unseat the incumbent governor of the state?
And could you also add this to the question? These social media sensation candidates, do you think that they might split or in any way affect the votes of those challenging the incumbent?
So why I said that the Anambra State election has been quite boring, I will admit that we have also had some side of it that has been quite interesting. The one you just mentioned, the My Nigga candidate, and of course the young lady, Chioma, who is going under the AAC. We have really had it, fun and funny on social media with their posters and their captions. So these are the sides of it. It's interesting really because Anambra State has not really been having this type of very funny side in the election. It has always been very serious and very aggressive and very confronting. But what we are witnessing now is quite different. Seeing people who are bringing that funny side of in the election. So it will be interesting to see how their role will play out in the outcome of the election. I wouldn't predict. But they have been quite visible offline. I've seen one or two campaign posters across the states. I've seen the campaigns trade. I've seen their activities. Definitely, their emergence and their activities will draw some supporters and voters alike. And what that would means would be a divided opposition. So if the opposition had coalesced their energy together and support one candidate, it would have mustered much more energy. But with what we have now, definitely we are going to have a divided opposition.
All right. So thank you so much, Uche, for joining the morning show today. And we hope that we can, of course, also contact you to join our 1 p.m. special broadcast in the countdown leading up to the election as we kick off today. But, of course, we'd like to schedule you during the week if time allows. Thank you so much, and we hope you're able to join us.